Kid Cudi just released Entergalactic, a new album. I don't really know if the album accompanies the TV special or if the TV special accompanies the album, but either way, it is paired with a show, or I guess a movie-ish. I don't really know what it is, on Netflix. But I'm not really a fan of this album. I feel like it is a little bit overindulgent, which could be part of it with the movie, where like a lot of these tracks have to be longer just to be like part of the soundtrack, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like just this whole album is a little bit overindulgent, and it just sounds just so like not like Cudi. I feel like there's not that much energy coming in a lot of these songs, and a lot of these songs are just super repetitive and not really songs I'd listen to as an album. Maybe it'll sound a lot better in the TV special, in the soundtrack, but I feel like as an actual album, it doesn't really work that well. But I still think there are some pretty solid songs, so I'm really kind of taking this as an album thing, not as like part of the TV special. Could sound really great in the TV special, and maybe I'll like the songs then, but this is just me reviewing the actual album. But I'm going to start off with the Intergalactic theme. I actually really like this one. I feel like the atmospheric beat and the voice that kind of surrounds you sounds like an intro to a TV show, or like background music for a really important scene because of it sounding really dramatic. New mode, I like the atmosphere again, but Cudi's vocals kind of seem mixed down a bit, and he kind of just seems a little bored and like not excited. There's not much energy he brings to the track. The chorus is kind of solid, but it's a little repetitive, and I like Cudi's vocals like stacked on top of each other, but he just, you know, kind of sounds bored on this track. Then Do What I Want, the beat is pretty simple, but he kind of does bring energy on the actual chorus, which I think is pretty catchy and solid. But the song isn't really much of anything else besides the chorus. The verses, low-key kind of trash, and just overall, it's kind of average. Angel, I do like. I feel like this song will be really good in the actual TV part, and I feel like the opening of the beat and like Cudi, he kind of sounds like God and You're in Heaven, which kind of works with the Angel whole thing. And the organ, you know, in the background really works, and the repetitiveness makes it so the song is, you know, I like this song. I think it's pretty solid. Then we go to Ignite the Love. I don't really like this one. The beat's okay. Cudi's vocals, not that good, and it kind of sounds like he's singing on a pop song instead of the beats he usually uses. The beat's really generic, and it kind of doesn't really sound inspired. Not a big fan of that one. Then we go to In Love. I feel like this is kind of the worst part of the actual album. I like the beat and its build, and Cudi's hums sound good, but the clap in the background and Cudi's vocals after that point don't really sound that good, and they just kind of are dragged, which doesn't really fit with the beat, especially when they're like hits or claps or whatever in the background at different times. And like it's kind of like an alien beat. I don't really know how to explain that, but that's at a faster pace than his actual vocals, which in my opinion doesn't really work. Then we go to Willing to Trust. I like the atmospheric production on this one. It sounds, you know, really well. It sounds good, and Cudi's vocals are also pretty solid for the beginning and sound good on the chorus. Ty Dolla $ign also sounds good. I like the atmospheric production with his voice, you know, kind of them together, and he adds a lot to the chorus in my opinion. But the production kind of carries a while, like I'm saying with the self-indulgence. It kind of just carries on for a while, which does work for a TV special. Doesn't really work for an album, in my opinion. Then it comes back, and I feel like Cudi also sounds really solid, and his vocals add kind of a surround sound, which, you know, sounds great. The song does carry on a little bit too much, but I think that's kind of just like the TV special and the soundtrack part. Then we go to Can't Believe It. This one is kind of trash in my opinion. The beat sounds more industrial and abrasive, and just doesn't really sound like Cudi's vibe. Even when 2 Chainz is on it, it doesn't really sound like his vibe either, and it's just such a weird song to me because neither of them really work with it, and the chorus is absolutely dog shit. But 2 Chainz doesn't sound terrible, he just doesn't sound that good, so I don't really know, but there's not a good chorus, and just it kind of all sucks. Then we go Living My Truth. I like this one. The beat and Cudi's flow kind of work, and it's kind of a chill song that sounds like you can listen to while you're walking down a street. Maybe they'll use it that way in the movie or TV special, whatever you want to call it. I don't really know. I do like the chorus, and I kind of just feel like it works well with the beat and the sound of the song. Then we go to Maybe So. I like the slow moving beat, and Cudi's vocals fit the really dark vibe of the album, or of the song, I guess. And the chorus is okay, but yeah, like I said, the vibe is so good on that track, and it's going to work so well in the TV special. At least I think it probably will. And I really like this song. It's just not like a song I want to listen to when I'm listening to an album, which I guess like you kind of have to throw away your expectations for this being an actual album. But when they're like soundtracks, like Black Panther soundtrack, it kind of gets your hype up a little bit more. But, it's a whole different thing, so it's kind of my fault. Then we go to Can't Shake Her. The beat's kind of basic, and I feel like Cudi's chorus is boring, doesn't sound great even when he layers his vocals, which I'm kind of a sucker for. Ty Dolla $ign does the exact same thing, and he's just not really in it. Like, I feel like he's in and out just immediately, and I don't even like the stacking of his vocals either. So I don't like this, really at all, but I don't know. Then we got She's Looking For Me. The beat's pretty good with the more atmospheric sound, but I feel like Cudi's, vocal performance on this one is just okay, but the song's just kind of generic, and that's how it is. I mean, it's not a bad song. It's just boring and average, which I feel like is kind of a big thing for this album. Then we got Somewhere to Fly. I like the production. Cudi's vocals sound crisp, and Don Toliver and Cudi are actually such a good duo. When I went to see Cudi in a concert, I really wish Don Toliver and Cudi could have had a song together, but Don Toliver pulled out, and that would have been so sick to listen to this song in concert. But I don't know, they just work so well with the vocals, and I just feel like this really isn't Cudi's best effort as a whole on the album. But then we go to My Drug. I feel like the production with the orchestra in the background sounds really good, and even though it takes kind of like the front page, like the production kind of takes like the top, and then Cudi's vocals are kind of on the bottom, it does work, and I feel like Cudi's vocals kind of complement the beat, and it works well, even if he is more of a vocal oriented singer versus a production oriented singer, and his vocals do kind of go out of control at some parts, but the song is, it's kind of average. It's not that bad of a song. It's a pretty solid one on this album. Then we go to Burrow. This is the last one. I hate the production on this one. I think this is Steve Aoki. Bro, what are you doing? And then, because it's like when I think it's a Steve Aoki part, not the Dot the Genius part. The production sucks. Cudi's vocals get to an annoying point, and then it builds to a point where it drops, and then it sounds like a whoopee cushion, just slowly letting out air. And then Don Toliver has these really nice vocals over the top of it, and it just doesn't work at all. I don't really know what this whole album is, but I feel like Cudi's vocals and Don Toliver's vocals on this song are pretty solid. I just don't know, this whole album, it's just so weird. There's some good songs, there's some bad songs. There's some ones where I'm like, okay, this could work in the, TV special or whatever. This could work as a soundtrack song. But some ones I just don't get, and I feel like just overall, this album is just such a mixed bag for me. I feel like it's pretty average. Some good songs, some bad songs. That's kind of how it is. It is a TV soundtrack, but I don't know. It's so weird to me, and I think it's a major step down from any of Cudi's recent work. I mean, I was a big fan of Cudi's, even Man on the Moon 3. I feel like there's so many bangers from that one. Maybe this is something you have to listen to while high. I don't know, but either way, I feel like this is a big step down from Cudi's other work, and it's just not that good. It's just it's just disappointing to me, and I think I'm gonna have to give this one a 4 out of 10. Didn't like it that much, but there are some, standout tracks for sure.